The world ends in white. One moment, Kale is tracking the lumbering shadow of a woolly mammoth across the vast, frozen steppe. The next, the horizon, the ground, and the sky dissolve into a single, churning entity of snow and wind. The blizzard does not fall. It attacks horizontally, a physical assault of ice shards driven by a wind born in the heart of the great Pleistocene ice. The mammoth is gone. His clan is gone. The sun is a forgotten myth. Survival shrinks to the next few feet. The next ragged breath drawn through a mask of frozen animal hide. He stumbles upon the cave by sheer stupid luck. A dark slash in the monolithic face of a glacier, a wound in the ice. He crawls inside, his body a single, agonizing ache of cold. The wind howls at the entrance, a beast denied its prey. But inside, there is only a profound, crystalline stillness. The light that filters through the ice walls is an impossible blue, a color from a dream of a drowned world. He is safe. He is trapped. For 2 days, he exists. He uses his flint striker to spindle of dried moss and animal fat. The flame is a pitiful, flickering thing, but it is life. He eats frozen strips of meat from his pack. He sleeps in short, shivering bursts, his back pressed against the uneven smooth wall of his prison. And he waits, but the waiting is not empty. The silence begins to press in. At first it is a relief. The world is never truly quiet. There is always the wind, the cry of a beast, the distant crack of shifting ice. Here, there is nothing. This is the tyranny of sensory deprivation. His universe is the blue-lit tomb and the frantic calm in his own chest. His ears, starved of input, begin to invent their own. He hears it, a child's laugh, clear as a frozen spring. His daughter, Muller. It is so real he turns his head, his heart leaping with an impossible hope before crashing back into the cold reality of his solitude. He shakes his head, a gesture of angry denial. It is a ghost of the mind. The guttural call of his hunting partner, the hiss of a spear in flight, the crackle of the main clan fire. His memories are no longer things he recalls. They are ambushing him. His own thoughts become loud, intrusive. They echo in the cavern of his skull. The meat will not last. The fat is low.
And constant
the wind does not stop. They are pronouncements, filling the crushing silence. On the 3rd day, a new thought forms as he stares at the sputtering flame. The fire is low, but it doesn't feel like his. The thought arrives with the texture of another's voice, calm, observant, separate from the panicked monologue of his fear. It is a whisper from an unseen corner of the cave. He freezes, his hand hovering over the dwindling supply of fuel. He looks around the empty, blue space. Who said that? He does not answer the voice. To answer is to admit the madness has taken root. He huddles deeper into his furs, convinced it is a trick of the wind, an echo of his own fear. But it comes again, after he adds a precious knob of fat to the fire. That is better. Now the meat, eats slowly, but is demanding, but advising. It is the voice of a hunter. It is his voice, but stripped of the panic that has been gnawing at him for days. He decides to give it a name. It is the hunter. The other one, the screaming terror in his gut, is the fear. A strange calm settles over him. He has created a clan inside his own head. The fear gibberests about the endless wind and the dwindling food. The hunter plans. The small bones can be sharpened. The sinew can be retied. Check the spear tip. Kel finds himself obeying, his hands moving with a purpose that had deserted him. He is no longer just a man waiting to die. He is in council. His splintered mind is ray-forging itself from a prison into a cognitive tool, a weapon against the silence. This internal dialogue becomes his new rhythm, a shield against the crushing solitude of this endless blue world. The shield is tested on the 5th day. The blue light of the cave darkens. It happens suddenly, a shadow falling across the entrance, too large and too solid to be a passing cloud in this white maelstrom. Kale freezes, the sharpened bone in his hand feeling pitifully small. The hunter speaks in his mind. Still, do not move. The fear screams. It has found us. We are trapped. The head that peers into the cave is a nightmare of feathers and teeth. It is covered in a shaggy, filthy coat of proto-feathers, like the pelt of a diseased bird, matted with old blood and ice. Its breath condenses in a thick sulphurous cloud. A long, low snout sniffs the air, and a reptilian eye, yellow and unblinking, swivels to fixate on the tiny fire, and then on him. It is a Yutyrannus, the feathered tyrant, a predator greater than kings. It is not as large as the great southern kings, but it is a pack hunter, an intelligent and relentless killer. The beast does not charge. It is cautious. It has found shelter in the scent of food. It watches him, head cold, aiding on calculus of risk and reward. Kale remains frozen, a statue carved from terror. The debate in his skull is frantic. It sees you, shrieks the fear. And then what? The hunter counters, its voice like ice. You will anger it in a space too small to fight. It is watching the fire. It is watching you. It does not know what you are. Be a rock, be nothing. The logic is simple and terrifying. He has one spear. The beast is a wall of muscle and claws. The only variable is intelligence. The Yutyrannus takes a hesitant step forward. It's massive, three-toed foot crunching on the snow. It lets out a low hiss, a sound that vibrates deep in Kale's chest. It is testing him, waiting for the flicker of panic that will confirm he is prey. He holds his breath, the two voices in his head locked in a fragile truce, waiting for the monster to make its decision. The standoff stretches into an eternity measured in heartbeats. The Yutyrannus remains framed in the cave entrance, a patient monolith of feathered death. It is intelligent. It knows the small, warm thing inside is trapped. Time is on its side. For Kale, time is a traitor, eating his fuel, his resolve, his warmth, his warmth. The fear screams for action, for the futile release of a thrown spear. The hunter imposes a will of iron, patience. It is a hunter. It understands patience. Kale's eyes dart around his blue prison, not in panic, but in search of a weapon the hunter can use. He sees only ice. And in the smooth, concave wall to his right, he sees himself. A distorted, spectral figure, another hunter in another cave, equally trapped. The reflection moves when he moves, a silent twin. For a moment, he is mesmerized. Two of us. The thought sparks and the hunter seizes it. Two hunters. One body. A plan, audacious and born of pure desperation, forms in the silent council of his mind. He begins to move, a slow, deliberate shuffle. He moves away from the wall with the reflection toward the opposite side of the entrance. He never takes his eyes off the predator. The Yutyrannus tracks the movement, its head tilting, a low growl rumbling in its chest. Kale is deliberately making himself the focus, drawing the beast's full attention to his side of the cave. The fear is a frantic, screaming thing in his soul, but the hunter is in control, forcing each muscle to move with glacial slowness. He reaches the far wall. Now he is on one side of the entrance, and his silent twin, the reflection, is on the other. With a flick of his wrist, so small it is almost a tremor, he tosses a shard of mammoth bone. It skitters across the ice floor, clattering against the reflective wall. The sound is small, but in the crushing silence, it is a thunderclap. The predator's head whips toward the noise, its instinct screaming that prey has moved on its blind side. For a single, vital second, its yellow eye is not on Kale. It is the only chance he will ever get. He does not run. He explodes. He launches himself from his crouch, out of the cave and into the blinding, shrieking blizzard. The cold is a physical blow, but it is the cold of freedom. He does not look back. He hears an earth-shaking roar of fury and confusion behind him, the sound of a predator that has been outthought. He plunges into the white chaos of the storm, no longer just a desperate animal fleeing, but a thinking being who has weaponized his own mind. He has survived not with his strength, but with a ghost, a reflection, and the two warring voices that have become his counsel. He emerges from the blue to mount the frozen steps as something new. His journey of introspection has given him the ultimate tour, a clear understanding of his own emergent sapience. This was the true dawn of our species, It did not happen around a roaring fire or in a triumphant hunt. It happened in the terrifying silence of a single mind, trapped in the ice. Kayle's discovery was not of a new land or a new tool of stone, but of the vast, uncharted continent within his own skull. The birth of the inner monologue was the moment human evolution took its most profound turn. It allowed for planning, for self-reflection, for the weighing of hope against despair. This ability to become both the actor and the observer is the very essence of what it means to be a Homo sapiens. Before we could conquer the world, we had to conquer the deafening silence of being alone. Every strategy, every story, every prayer ever uttered began as a whisper in a mind that learned to speak to itself, proving that the greatest wilderness is the one we carry inside. For the first true fire was not of wood but of consciousness. But, in that consciousness, shadows can be born as well as light.